Good morning from Central Virginia. Today is glorious. It is the very beginning of July, and I'm actually going to do some replanting of some warm season crops and second plantings of warm season crops. Gardening teaches you to be resilient, and you may remember that a couple of weeks ago I planted some beans, and some of them came up and some of them didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my bean patch. My lima beans that I planted were a wipeout, and I think that's because I planted them. I had to go away. It was very dry and hot, and I think they just weren't able to germinate. So I'm going to give those another go, and then I'm planting some more cucumbers. Some I've planted before, and some I have never planted before. So, yeah, let's take a quick morning look around the garden because it is really beautiful right now, and I like this time of day. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and loads of birds around, loads and loads of insects, good ones in my garden, and it's just everything looks lush and green, and that's a nice way to start your day. So let's come and take a quick little look with me. I'll just show you where I'm going to be working. I'll also give you a couple of updates. These are the potatoes that I planted a few weeks ago in the grow bag, and I'm going to be updating some more potatoes. Now, I don't know why they're getting this kind of curl on them. I did see a stink bug floating around on here. So one of the things I'm going to do with these is go ahead and give them a mulch layer up to the top. So that's a thing I've got to do today as well. This is come down here. Now this is the bean bed, and you can see that the contenders are contending well. Now I don't like this. See what I'm seeing on there? That tells me there's maybe some kind of bean beetle or something like that. So I'm going to check all of these for larvae before I continue on. I also have noticed that there have been a lot of birds down here, and they will eat that larva. You can see that the maxwells came up and the contenders did really well, but everything else was not so much. Last night I went ahead and pulled the remaining turnips. This borage plant is done, so I'm going to clean that out. And climbing up the wall there is my long cucumber. You can see one growing on the side over there. It's very large and long. Those are delicious cucumbers. But I'm going to go ahead and do a replanting there so that I get a second wave coming up. So when these plants, are ready to be done, I'll have some more coming. Here's my tomato patch for my sauce. And I do have one that's starting to ripen up. Yep, look. There's my first tomato of the season right here. So those will start coming in, and then it'll be tomato sauce making time. We'll be working in the bean bed over there. These are potato pots that need to get replanted. That may or may not get done today. And then let's go through the squash jungle, through the borage. I need to be taking out this cilantro plant and going ahead and harvesting the seeds. I've got a little bare patch right there, and so I think I might put in some cucumbers perhaps there, which will take the place of these poinsettias when they are fading. And this is the poor pathetic lima bean patch that didn't happen. So I know this patch is good because look, I've got all of these volunteer ground cherries growing here. So it tells me the soil and everything is just fine in here. This is where I'd had some vole problems with my potatoes. And all of those lima beans that I planted, just one germinated. So I think I'm going to use a different packet of seeds just to make sure. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to water the seed drill first, and I'm going to plant them deeper so that it's a little bit cooler. When I plant my beans, I usually go about 1 inch deep. If I go down in here and I go to like 2 inches, it's cooler, and I think that might be a better thing to do as the hot weather is here. You experiment and you make adjustments. Take a look at these melon plants coming up the trellis. Can't wait to get my little Eden gems going. Don't you just love all these volunteer calendulas that came up? I just leave them because, they're pretty. All right, let me move some things out of the way. Let's go ahead and get these turnips. The greens are just going to go straight into the compost. The turnips are going to go straight into the oven for roasting. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this borage out. That will go. Oh, here's a weed, and here's a weed. There's a good chance to get in here and get anything that really shouldn't be in here out of here. This is my cucumber plant that's sort of going everywhere. Here's a shard that is just it's kind of a leftover thing from last year. We'll just go ahead and get all this stuff cleaned out of here. We'll dig this around. We'll water the drill, water the bed really, really well before I plant. And I think that's going to be another thing that helps. Let's see, this cucumber's here. I'm going to clean these lower leaves off of this cucumber plant. They're sort of beat up, not doing much for us here. I do love the Suyulong cucumbers. They are delicious, they're crisp, they're versatile. You can really do a lot of different things with them. I've also gone ahead and gotten the cilantro plant out. I'm going to take this up and dry the seeds, pull the seeds off, and save them. Oh gosh, it smells good. Coriander. Go ahead and just dig a little, kind of turn things up just a little bit here. Get things going along a little bit better. It is dry, man. Dry, dry, dry. Just be planting plenty of beans in here alongside these others, so I get a wave after wave of beans coming in. I am going to plant right to the edge, and I am going to come in and really water the seed drill, the seed area where I'm going to seed. Okay, in this area, I'm going to plant some more of the dragon tongue beans. Those were really good. They're stripy, but they stay yellow when you cook them. And the contenders, which are the ones that are growing right down here and doing well. So contenders and dragon tongues. Let's see how they do. What I'll do is take my dragon tongues and put them right where these guys were. I'm going to poke a hole approximately. I'm going to overseed because I don't know how the germination is going to go on these. Put them about maybe 2-3 inches apart, and we will overseed them. 2 inches apart should do it, so that we're not overstressing the soil. Let's do a row in here. Hopefully planting them a little deeper is going to be a plus for these guys. And we'll do the contenders along here just to contend. I did not pre-soak these this time. That might have been a big mistake, but I'm just going to overwater like crazy in here. I just really hope that we get some germination. And we get growth. These for me have been probably the most reliable bean that I've ever planted. As you can see with the germination here and the growth here, they have done very well. Very, very well. So we'll take the contenders over, and I'm also going to just put in those additional Suyulong starts, and I'm going to put one about right here. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Again, I'll overseed just because of the weather. The heat is coming in. So I'll just go ahead and put like 3 seeds down in an area, and we'll kind of monitor those, see if they come up. Put one right in here, and then when these other plants get, totally beaten up, we can just pull it, and then we'll have another plant coming up. Water, water, water. And I think to get these started, I'm just going to literally water them twice a day, especially in this heated, hot, hot time. Now that I've taken my complete stupid pill and broken my microphone, I'm going to go and plant the lima beans now. As I said, I think the trick to this is going to be water, 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 water. I'm going to water this twice a day, especially as this heat comes back in tomorrow. And we'll see if we can get this second wave of green beans going. All right, the beans I'm planting here are called thorough green, canned green bush beans. And they are a really nice lima bean. I have grown these before, and I really like them. And I'm hoping I can really get them going. I'm going to pay much more attention to getting the germination started on these. Now, I have already pre-watered this bed. All right, with these, because I've already dug this up before, or sort of, loosen up the soil. I'm just going to go ahead and put in my holes about 2 inches deep. You know, if they don't grow at this point, I'm going to conclude that the problem is voles and that they're still in here, even though there's not much growing for them to eat. They have been such a big, huge issue this year. It's annoying. It's annoying. But you know, you have to learn how to contend with these things. This is an ideal spot for beans to grow because it gets the morning sun. It gets the, you know, that's something all the way down there. It gets sun in the morning, and it gets the southern sun in the afternoon. So I'm planting a good inch deep, 2 inches deep to keep them cool. And then we will we'll water. Alrighty, here goes nothing, as we say. As we say, here goes nothing. Look, I have a lovely little bee. Work on that. Make me some lovely melons, little bee. Loads of pollinators in here today. Little tiny ones today, too. This trellis, I'm growing some cucumbers, some Armenian cukes up, and I've got some snake beans on this side. So I'm going to come in here and put those gherkins right down in here. This may be an exercise in futility, but I am going to try to plant one more thing, a thing called hocus cucumbers. It's a gherkin, and that is going to be a good thing for pickles. So they're supposed to be able to grow up to 6 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on this trellis with the Armenian cucumber and hope for the best. I think I'll actually put it on this side of the trellis. Maybe I'll put some on this side too, just for good measure. So I'm going to do what I did on the other side. Now I can tell on this side is mulch, is much nicer soil here. I'm watering these down. Whoa, sorry, camera. Watering this area down a little. Okay, I'm planting a whole bunch. We're going to see if anything comes up. If it does, great. If it doesn't, well, all right. That's what we do. All right, let's see what happens when we put those in. Let's see if we get any cucumbers to grow. Looked at the clock and it's 9:30, so I've been out here for about an hour and a half just dinking around. But I've done a complete watering of the garden. I've pulled out some weeds. I've pulled some plants that needed to be pulled. I've done new plantings. So I call that a fairly productive morning, and I think it's time for breakfast. I'm kind of hungry, but I got some nice blackberries up there on my blackberry row. You might have seen my video on the breakfast that I make with the yogurt and the blackberries and the basil. And today I think I'll put some cashew nuts in with that as well. All right then, so thank you for watching. Check back and I'll show you how these things are coming along. If you love to garden like I do, and you love to cook what you grow like I do, this might be a channel for you. So do consider subscribing and sharing this channel and help me grow. I'm almost at 1,000 followers, and I'm happy about that because I really wasn't expecting to have it like my friends, but now I have many friends all over the place who check in with me frequently. Looking at you, Elizabeth, looking at you, Heather, and many others, and Rachel. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you're already a subscriber. And I hope your garden is growing well. Now, let's get some breakfast.